Hello everyone, and welcome to Designing Characters, where I explain turning characters from my mind and other media into characters for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Here we focus on builds and personality traits, utilizing standard array or point buy with D&D Beyond's layout. Let me know what character build or video you'd like to see next in the comments below. I read them all and reply to as many as I can. Today we're working on Zoro, Master Swordsman, and the definition of badass normal from One Piece. Also the guy who looked at a sword and decided, yes, I want to put that in my mouth. Before Ford ever existed, by the way.
I like to swallow a sword. No.
So what are our goals for our Mihawk wannabe? First, we need enough hit points to fight while carrying a wound that's ready to pop and spill our intestines everywhere, and not care. Second, we need to be able to dish out plenty of attacks every round, at least 3, but some extras aren't a terrible idea. And finally, we need long-range shockwaves and wind pressure techniques for a variety of options in combat. Next, for abilities, we're going with standard array for a 12 in strength, 15 in dexterity, and 14 in constitution. You're superhumanly durable, incredibly fast, and have solid strength that gives you abnormal amounts of raw power. Next, we'll have a 10 in intelligence, 8 in wisdom, and 13 in charisma. You're the second in command for a reason, and a decent tactical mind when you care to use it. Solid leadership abilities and an intimidating presence round you out fairly well, but your common sense and sense of direction are both lacking pretty badly. Now for race, you're human, but you're a One Piece human, meaning you're definitely variant material, and your superhuman abilities make no sense and are never explained, because shonen, embrace the chaos. Variant humans gain a language, take whatever, but we'll go with Dwarvish for the upcoming backstory. You also gain +1 to 2 abilities, take dexterity and charisma to even out your odd number stats so I don't have a stroke. For your skill, take intimidation. Even as a kid, you were scaring most grown adults. For your feat, take dual wielder to maximize your ability to wield multiple rapiers, katanas, at once and help your AC out a little bit at the same time. Now, for your background, you were raised on an island full of skilled warriors and smiths. Swordsmanship was seen as a respectable skill and had attracted many a blacksmith. With this came many skilled craftsmen, but especially dwarves, whom wished to see their expertly crafted weapons in the hands of famed warriors. Taken in by a dojo, you began training in their methods alongside beginning your own unorthodox style, training your body and pushing it to its limits while taking pointers from the dwarven smiths on how to properly maintain your own blades, thus learning their language throughout your childhood. For this background, we're taking a variant athlete. This will grant you proficiency in acrobatics and athletics, as well as smithing tools and one language. Take Primordial to understand the occasional exchange with fishfolk that visited your home. You also gain the Echoes of Victory feature, causing your fame to have reached many islands and allowing you to perform superhuman physical feats for coin. Now onto class. We're starting off as a fighter. You're a simple man with simple attacks to start. A level 1 fighter has a D10 hit die, proficiency in all items, as well as strength and constitution saving throws. You also gain proficiency in the skills Perception and Insight. You're one of the few members of the crew that can actually pay attention and read people properly, though your sense of long-distance navigation is a bit lacking. Navigation in general, not your strong suit. With this, you gain a fighting style. Take 2-weapon fighting to maximize the striking power of your 2 katanas, and second wind to get back up even after taking numerous heavy blows without a care. Second level fighters gain Action Surge, allowing you to now attack 3 times instead of twice. You finally have 3 swords. Sort of. Third level fighters gain a martial archetype. Take Eldritch Knight to gain access to spellcasting, granting you 2 cantrips and 3 first level spells. Take Sword Burst for a sword strike that covers a very wide range, and Green Flame Blade to cloak your blade in wind pressure and unleash a powerful swing that impacts multiple targets around you. For your spells, take Absorb Elements and Shield for a powerful sword swing to reflect attacks of elemental energy and physical blows. Finally, take Featherfall to ensure you can perform the ridiculous shonen feats and survive dangerous falls. You also gain a Weapon Bond, allowing you to bond to the swords you magically wield and begin connecting to your first cursed blade. Now we're switching over to Warlock as you find your first cursed weapon and begin connecting with it, gaining even further powers after your roll of luck and nearly losing your arm. First level Warlocks gain a D8 hit die and an otherworldly patron. Choose Hexblade and with it gain Hexblade's Curse to focus your ire on a target, sending them into shock for a brief image of an Azura appearing around you. You also gain Hex Warrior, but you're already proficient with everything and you utilize your dex for combat, so it doesn't really offer you many benefits. but it is now bound further to you, I suppose. With this, you gain Pact Magic, granting you 2 additional cantrips, learning Minor Illusion in order to form an aura around you, and Mind Sliver to release an intimidating aura against an enemy striking their minds. It's fun to use Minor Illusion for various effects, such as glowing eyes or an illusion of another Azura wrapped around you, for instance. For your 2 spells, take Armor of Agathis to cloak your body and Hex to cloak your blades in Hockey, for extra protection and striking power while wielding them. Second level Warlocks gain Eldritch Invocations. Take Armor of Shadows for near passive mage armor in order to stick to wearing your kimono, alongside Eldritch Mind for advantage on Constitution saving throws when using concentration. For your spell, take Expeditious Retreat for your high speed movement. Now back to Fighter for quite a while. 4th level fighters gain a feat. Take Resilient to increase your dexterity to 17 total, and grant proficiency in dexterity saving throws for your supernatural reflexes, as well as Near Premonition representing your observational hockey. You also gain 1 spell. Take Long Strider to represent your speed even further, combine it with Expeditious Retreat for 80 movement a turn. 5th level fighters gain a 2nd attack, allowing you to now consistently use all 3 of your swords at once, with 3 attacks total now. 6th level fighters gain a feat. Take Piercer, as technically your katana is a rapier, which are piercing weapons, thus allowing you to add 1 to your dexterity for a new total of 18, as well as now being able to reroll your weapon damage for a better chance of high-end rolls, and more devastating crits, perfect for your multiple attacks around. 7th level Eldritch Knights gain War Magic, allowing you to strike with a blade using one of your sword cantrips and then attack again as a bonus action, as well as a spell. Take Warding Wind to represent your tornado and reflect incoming attacks from a distance. 8th level fighters gain +2 to dexterity for a new cap total of 20, and a new spell. Take Gust of Wind for a focus swing of your blade to send everyone in your way flying with a shockwave. 9th level fighters gain Indomitable, allowing you to re-roll failed saving throws and shrug off effects that rightfully should level you. 10th level fighters gain Eldritch Strike, allowing your attacks to impose disadvantage to saving throws made against your spells. You also gain a spell. Take Misty Step for a sudden burst of movement at the last minute when you draw a single blade. For your cantrip, take Thunderclap for an explosive blast of raw force to send attackers flying backward with just your raw power. 11th level fighters gain a 3rd attack, allowing you to now unleash 4 times in a single round of attacks. You also gain a spell. Take Spider Climb so you can use your raw speed to dash up vertical surfaces with ease in the midst of combat, or out of it if you want to mimic a monk. Now we switch back over to Warlock as your next cursed blade is acquired. 3rd level Warlocks gain a Pact. Take Pact of the Blade. This does overlap a lot with your Eldritch Knight weapon bond, but it does work out to where all of your swords now should be connected to you, so there is that at least. Now, for your spell, take Mirror Image and move it at 10 speeds to create blurred images around you. 4th level Warlocks gain a feat. Take Toughness for that inhuman endurance you have, as well as the spell Mind Spike to improve on your intimidating, killing intent, alongside the cantrip Eldritch Blast for a concentrated shockwave from your swords and an enemy a distance away. 5th level Warlocks gain a final Eldritch Invocation. Take Eldritch Smite to expend your Warlock slots and deal devastating shockwave strikes in melee with your blades. With this, you gain the spell Thunderstep for a last-minute, long-range, explosive step to deal with an enemy at high speed. Now back to Fighter. 12th level fighters gain +2 Constitution for a total of 16 now. 13th level fighters gain a spell. Take Haste to amplify your physical combat abilities even further with blinding speed and 5 attacks around now with your dual wielding. 14th level fighters gain another feat. Take Defensive Duelist as your mastery over the blade reaches a new peak, the training with Mihawk finally paying off. This allows you to parry incoming attacks to rely less on your raw physical durability. You also gain a spell. Take Counterspell, and when you see someone about to use a Devil Fruit power, send a shockwave flying toward them to knock them off balance and ruin the action. Finally, our capstone of 15th level fighter grants us Arcane Charge, allowing you to teleport 30 feet when you use your action surge for even more raw mobility, as if you aren't blitzing around and teleporting enough. Now, what is Zoro good at here at the end of our build? First, you're incredibly difficult to harm with a base 19 AC and the ability to casually raise that AC to 25 with Defensive Duelist or 24 with Shield. Your physical saving throws are incredible, and with Indomitable, even your horrid mental saves are possible to succeed. Even if they do fail, if it's a damaging effect, you have Absorb Elements to greatly lessen the damage you would normally take. Even if you do take damage with over 200 fixed hit points, you're incredibly tanky. Next, with your spells, you're able to dish out incredible mobility, easily maintaining your concentration for those spells with advantage and a +9 save, buffing spells for speed, extra attacks, teleportation, and defensive or utility options. Things like Gust of Wind, Warding Wind, and so forth covering for some of the weaknesses your build normally has. Finally, your attacks per round and damage potential is pretty substantial, with rerolls on your damage, a flat 4 attacks a round with 3 or 5 depending on your spell choices, and each attack dealing 1d8 plus 1d6 plus 11 damage. Your offensive potential can rapidly start adding up along with the rerolls, likely dealing an average damage of 20 per attack. Which isn't much until you realize that's all consistent, and you can, if you so choose, add smites onto each one of those attacks as you wish with your spell slots. But there's always drawbacks, and you do have a few. First, you're not the most mentally potent individual, with horrible mental saves and a bad charisma save, meaning many effects can trick your mind, get you lost in illusions, running through a city trying to find your party, or even attacking the annoying chef that, sure, you don't like that much, but you're normally not trying to kill. Next, though your spell selection is solid to enhance a lot of what you do, it comes from a limited pool, and as you begin delving into Tier 3 and 4 play, a handful of spell slots for each level, with most only returning on a long rest, means you're fairly limited in what you're capable of dishing out long term using those slots. You can't really spam your big techniques, often having to fall back to standard sword play. And finally, though your self-enhancement spells are wonderful, your spells that are designed for control and area of effects, attacks, or normal damage are pretty pathetic for high-end combat, with your low intelligence and below average charisma for a caster. This means the spells that deal damage or have saving throws can easily be ignored by people your level, making them primarily used for cleaning out the moot crews of your enemies more than proper tools in an arsenal against opponents your level. But you're not there to be the main caster of the group. Leave that to Nami or Robin. Stick to what you're good at, and unleash your attacks full force on your enemies in a barrage of waves and blades. Let your crew back you up, and frontline alongside your captain. Though maybe put aside that pride of yours occasionally, sometimes it leads to you nearly dying an early death. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop it a like, subscribe for more, hit the little bell, and please leave a comment on anything you liked about the build or what video you'd like to see next. I do videos on Dungeons & Dragons as well as my own world once to twice a week. I'd like to thank all my patrons, but especially my Platinum patrons, SPS and Crom. Your donations mean the world to me. If you'd like to join them, there's a link in the description below to my Patreon. Patrons get to vote on the videos that I do and have access to various variant rules, homebrewed supplement systems, items, spells, and so forth there. You can also talk with my community in Discord to learn about my D&D supplements and a literate roleplay board I run for my world. Have an amazing day, everyone. Be safe. Love each other. Goodbye.